Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Attitude Makeover podcast. This is a special one for me. My guest for today has a big fan in me, and I'm sure in most of y'all as well. It's an absolute pleasure to have with me Sonu Venugopal. You probably know her as Uncle Sheshadri and many other roles that she plays in the social media. She's an amazing stand-up comic, an improviser, and now has ventured into the world of acting based out of Bangalore. Oftentimes, before I start the episode, I normally connect with the guests to see what they're passionate about. In Sonu's case, she is a self-made personality in the creator space, especially in South India, creating regional content while expanding to the more English audience. We decided to pivot on a very crucial aspect that we all struggle with. As we maneuver through our careers, we really work with some really nice people, but also sometimes we work with narcissists, sometimes we work with different kind of egotistical and leaders, and maneuvering through that while keeping your sanity intact and managing your own career journey is an art and a skill in itself. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The industry is full of I have done this, I have arrived sort of professionals. Sonu maneuvers through that, and this conversation goes into aspects of, really understanding your value proposition, standing your ground on what are your boundaries, what are things that are really important for you in your life and your priorities, and thereby then guiding yourself through your career journey with finesse as against really banging your head against the wall. For her, attitude makeover means work in progress every single day. I thought that was a very beautifully put description for attitude makeover. As always, I hope you find this conversation both engaging and have a lot of takeaways on how you can remain sane as you go through your career journey, irrespective of the environment and the space that you work in, because you're going to meet a whole lot of people. You may like a lot of them, you may not like a lot of them. Do you detour, or how do you stay put and progress, knowing your own value? I hope there are many takeaways you can have from this conversation. Tune in, listen in, and I hope to see you all back again in the next episode. So, how was the traffic? Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from North Bangalore.
Which part?
The better part of Bangalore.
I grew up there, like Bharat Electronics.
Yeah. I stay somewhere close by.
Oh.
And I realized that 1 hour is not enough to reach this place.
But the trees are like really nice.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, I love that part of the city. For me, that part of the city is more habitable.
Yeah.
Because of the roads.
Yeah.
And the space between the houses.
Yes.
Yes. You have a safe space.
Yes.
Where
you can't hear.
Exactly. Where the neighbors don't hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
So it's a good.
So on Friday, I attended this one session by this IAS officer back then in India in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
And he was talking about Bangalore and partition.
Oh, wow.
Very interesting. I didn't think of Bangalore with respect to partition.
Right.
But did you know there are 8,000 refugees who came from Sindh and settled in Bangalore?
Wow.
Yeah.
I have no idea about this.
And then much later, the public sectors, especially like RBL and all that, is where migration really happened to Bangalore. And that's why it is such a cosmopolitan.
Yeah, actually, where I live, we have a lot of Kashmiris there. They work in BL. And we have people from different parts of the country. I love that about Bangalore, actually. It feels like you're living with so many different kinds of people.
Yes.
So, which is why it's like my most favorite city in the country.
It is.
Yeah.
I think for me, actually.
Yeah.
Second is Bombay.
I find it extremely intimidating. And, I can smell the struggle there. Yeah. I don't know if I'm like making sense, but there's a vibe of tension in Bombay.
It's fast-paced. Right?
Yeah, and also more than fast-paced, I think I think that vibe, and also a lot of it is perception. Now we are used to calling Bombay a city that never sleeps, ye wo, and all of that. But so is Bangalore.
Yeah.
I feel Bangalore is more cosmopolitan than Bombay, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But I've heard from people who live in Bombay that, the life is very different and all of that. I'm like, it's what you make of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can choose to be a Bangalorean in Bombay also. Live this life.
Yeah.
Where you take things in your stride and still get things done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
For me, it is a combination of food, beach, shopping.
Yeah. Beach also not clean beach, no?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like...
Like what we are used to. I mean, you're also used to the North Canara and South Canara beaches.
Yeah,
right?
which are like so clean and,
Yeah.
Food also, pav bhaji, right? Like, I'm just thinking, I don't want to I don't want to get bashed from people who love Bombay, but I'm just saying, it's so much of perception, right?
Yeah.
Our pav bhaji is the best, our vada pav is the best. I was like, okay.
It is the best.
But your claim to fame is that Shah Rukh Khan lives in your city.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That I will give it to you. He lives in your city. Okay. But Shah Rukh Khan's grandfather is from Bangalore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, our water has
something, no? See, that's what.
Yeah,
that's
I think
what.
so.
Yeah, of course.
It just has a bit of extra concoction of other things that are not so
I agree.
great.
I agree with you. Yes.
Highly opinionated set of people we are.
Oh God. And we started with such a controversial topic. I don't know from here where we are going now.
So, Sonu, I want to start off with... I've been a big fan of yours from when you started. Like for the first time...
Really, I was terrible. You can't be my fan then.
No. From when you started. Just like how I've been a fan of Prithvi from when he started.
Right.
I used to think, what is this guy? Who is this guy? I used to be very intrigued with his sense of humor and his personality.
Yeah.
And I've seen him change. Similarly, I've seen you grow as a person.
How
And
sweet of you to say that. Thank you.
Without having met you, I feel like I know you well enough. So pardon my real complacency I'm coming with.
No, not at all. I'm actually happy that you've noticed growth in me without meeting me. That's so sweet. Really, it's one of the sweetest things I've heard about myself. It's very sweet.
Big fan.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My mom, everybody actually.
Thank you.
And I like the fact that you talk in Kannada,
Yeah.
you bring humor out in Kannada, and I think you changed the game for that space itself in a lot of ways.
I hope I did in some way, but I think it's a long journey ahead.
Of
A
course.
very long journey ahead.
So I want to first understand, what was your upbringing like? Were you a single child?
Yes, I'm a single child.
And how was your upbringing? I want to understand what are some of the value systems you grew in, because there's a lot of who you are that's so visible, and I think it won't happen overnight. This is something you've come with.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's true for all of us. I'm a single child. My father worked in a bank. He still works in a bank, but now he works for a cooperative bank. Sorry. My father had a transferable job, so we used to shift cities every 3 years. My mother is somebody who has studied in a residential school, so she comes from a very different set of values. Without being out there that women can't do this and all of that, she has done her thing. Not vocalizing the issues as such, but she has done her thing. Like, for me, she's one of the strongest women I know. And my father also, I think, though he grew up in a family where he had 2 brothers, and only the only woman figure in his life was his mom. But my father is also very non-conventional, if I could say, I mean, the fact that they stopped after having a girl child says a lot about that, like they didn't want a son or anything of that sort.
Only one child.
Only one
right?
child.
Yeah.
And, my father is more of this person who believes in equality, So he's not somebody who will expect my mother to do things, or expect me to be a certain way because I'm a woman, I'm a girl. So I grew up in a household that is very free. And my mother was the strict person amongst the two of them. And I was scared of her for the longest time. I still am. Like yesterday, I went to Raintree for it was an exhibition. And most of the times when we go and shop, I need that approval from my mother. Like, can I buy this? Yesterday, I just bought something without asking her. I'm sure she didn't mind, but in my head, it was like, I should have asked her. She would have said no, but I should have asked her. I just bought it. So she still has that effect on me. Also, after I reached 12th graduation engineering, my mom was the friend. I don't know how she managed to do that. Like for the longest time, she was extremely strict, and that switch just happened very naturally. My father has been pretty much consistent, and the main value system is, I think it's a very South Indian thing, especially in a family where everybody is academically oriented. We don't talk about things we do. It's very understated, it's very subtle, it's very, my parents don't show me off. They never did. But I think they are proud of me, I'd like to believe. But it's not that, single child, okay, like we are going to pamper her, we are going...
Entitled.
Not like that. Of course, like, I've had a privileged upbringing. I will accept that. But certain things are non-negotiable in our household. Like, we don't lie. I mean, we try not to lie at least. And a general sense of respect when it comes to every person. And not thinking too high of yourself. I think it's a very South Indian thing. The minute you are flying high, your mother will bring you down.
Bring you down, yeah.
Which is a great thing. Which is a great thing. I mean, sometimes I get so overwhelmed by what my daughter does now. And then people say, like, at her age, kids don't do this. And I'm like, oh, feeling very proud and all of that. Oh, she's going to become the president of India. Or prime minister. I don't know. Like, I'm a very normal mother. But then I'm like, you tell yourself that, calm down. Let people be. So these things are non-negotiable. Like, that respect, that... what do you say, that respect in terms of everything, like your time, your space, what you do, everything. So that I think is very, very important. And we've also been a family that is not money driven.
I was going to ask you, how is the money fundamentals? Because I think that's also very important, right?
And it's not that, I told you, my father was a officer in a bank. Privileged as compared to a lot of people, but you're not still like,
like a middle class.
You're a very typical middle class. But my father has never been driven by money. So it's a thing that has been like, a very, it's defined. Like, we don't, if we like something, we can afford it, we buy it. If we cannot, we don't. And if we buy something expensive and by our standards, you don't go around telling people that it is expensive. So even when I got my first job, my father was like, you should not see how much money you're going to make. You're going to see what you're going to learn. You're going to get those skills. And then you will be in a position to negotiate further. So it's not that, we are like, we have to do this. Like by this age, you need to have a house, a car. We are not driven like that. We like to live every day in a certain way. We have our own things. Like, I don't mind spending a bomb at a restaurant for something I like to eat. But I will think 100 times if I want to buy a car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So our priorities are like that. And you live life king size. Whatever. My father always says this, if you have 2 rupees, you should always think, what is the maximum fun you can have out of that 2 rupees? So Either you can have like a one nice chocolate or 10 nice chocolates. It's up to you. But live life.
To its
Don't
fullest.
be like, this is too less or this is too more. Abhi, what do we do with this money? Whatever you have, see what best you can do. So that's been the thing for the longest time. And it's been inculcated in me. And I think I'm going to pass on that because I think it's slightly less stressful
Yeah.
to live a life like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, very true.
Yeah.
And how did the husband happen? Is that love marriage? Is that arranged marriage?
No, I didn't have time for love. No, I had a very busy, you know how it is in media, right? There are no fixed working hours. You are out and about, and all the men you find good looking are married. So you don't want to be one of those women, who's like, I like your husband, kind of. So you just like, you are like, okay, fine, it'll happen when it has to happen. So my father met his father, and the rest is history.
And then from a money and the value system, how is the value system?
Different? I'm not much of a saver. I'm like, what if I die tomorrow? And like save everything for whom? I'm of that opinion. My husband is a very prudent guy when it comes to finances. I think one person has
Needs
to be like
that
that.
way. Yeah.
So he's that guy. So also I think he has managed to inculcate that stupid habit of saving in me also now. So I'm like, okay, fine, let's save. But we should know where we are going to spend.
Yeah.
It's not like save, and then you don't know what you're saving it for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think our generation is a generation of people who don't want to buy property. At least I don't want to buy.
When you say your generation,
Yeah. People who are in their early 30s
Okay.
is what I'm doing. Late 20s and early 30s.
okay, because I'm like 2 generations away from
No,
you.
so also it comes from, again, I will emphasize on this fact that we are privileged. Our parents built homes and we don't have that aspiration of building home. Now we are a little too fancy. We want to see the world. We want to go to the Amazon rainforests and camp there. And these are our aspirations, right? So I should know what am I saving for?
Yeah.
And that's definitely not like a property.
Property, gold,
Doesn't
any of
no way. No. It doesn't excite me at all. So it's something like that. So there's a cruise that goes from South America to Antarctica. And I'm like, see,
8
that's
lakhs or
yes,
something,
yes.
right? Yeah, I
So I'm
remember
like,
that.
this is something like a pipeline. You can definitely save for this, and then you go. What else do I save for? Yeah, pretty much it. This is it.
Amazon rainforest, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
We did this.
Huh.
My husband and I and a couple of other friends. Bloody the flies are this big, okay?
I know.
Sonu,
I know.
they bite.
Wow. I mean,
They bite like
not
crazy.
wow for that, but yeah.
Like you have like moles of...
Oh, wow.
They bite. It's raining all the time. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But then it's not as magical.
No, of course not.
as
It
put
won't be, right? It won't be. But that experience is something.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So that's what
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
I think our parents spent on the things. We are spending on experiences.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next generation is going to spend the money on.
Yeah. But one thing I noticed is, and I've read this, that, when you look at generations, my mom, for example, or your parents, they started first time stepping out of their city or their comfort zone. They had to figure out some of these things, setting up a house, buying a property, creating that
Yeah,
wealth.
of course.
When we came in, we already have that wealth, and it's how much is enough becomes a definition.
Yes.
And then we're either accumulating more or we're figuring out ourselves. And in this process, we sort of jump jobs and things like that. But your generation is the kind where, it's sorted. This bit of survival is sorted.
Yeah.
So it's about figuring out who you are.
Yes.
What is your value proposition?
Absolutely.
What do you want in life?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So you did engineering and then
Yeah.
switched complete gear. What you did engineering?
Electronics and electrical and electronics.
Oh, I did. I got into architecture. I think the world is spared of an amazing architecture thanks to my mother.
Huh.
Because I got into Manipal.
Huh.
And then she said, Ali hogi drugs martiya.
Oh, I think that opinion about Manipal has not changed at all.
Yeah. She refused to let me go
okay.
join Manipal.
Yeah.
And then I did electronics and communication. Not that did bad over here, but
Yeah.
then I think I would have changed the world
Yeah.
in the other space. How did electrical engineering happen for you?
Just like that.
And were you into mimicry and all from before?
No, yeah, I mean, like, I was a observant child for sure. You know, I used to observe things that my mother found very funny. But you can't think of comedy as a career when you were growing up. I mean, I think the kids now can for sure because you have so much of exposure. You can see a comic from South America doing comedy in Spanish and still find it funny because of the subtitles. So the range is crazy. So I never thought that you can be doing that for a career. It still is a very high risk job.
High risk, you're saying.
Yeah, because there is a high chance that you won't make it. You won't make it big. And in fields like this, if you don't make it big, it's almost like,
You're surviving.
yeah. So you have to bank on what else, right? So if comedy is not working, what else can you do? I mean, in pandemic, I never thought that, stand-up comedy will come to a stand. I never thought there'll come a time because we were in a nice momentum and this happened. And then you had to think of something else. So it keeps you on your toes for sure. But I was not thinking of that as a career.
Then how did you chance on... You've done improv as well as comedy, right?
Yeah.
How did you chance on it?
I think it's people's belief, especially with the improv. When I was doing the team, they felt that I could do it. I mean, I didn't know I could do it, right? I mean, what are the confidence levels like when you start out on something new, right? It's pretty low. Yeah. So you need those people to tell you that, yes, you can do this. So I have had lot of such people in my life. So I'm grateful for that. Because once that bridge is crossed, then you can, permutation, combination, figure out things, yeah.
So did you go for an improv course or something?
No, that's again a pipeline thing. I do want to do that at some point in time in New York. But I just learned, I mean, Saad, who is the director of Humble Politician, Nagraj, he just called me and he was like, he'll start doing. And then there were a lot of people. There was Darius, there was Saad. All of them were like, you can do this. So when people who are doing their work so well give you that confidence, it means a lot. So I started off like that. And then, yeah. But still, I didn't know that, you could do this, like freelancing. So there are crazy days, there are absolutely doing nothing days. I like that balance where I'm not like hustling every day,
So if you were to step back and look at as of today, what is the value prop Sonu comes with? How would you explain that?
I think the industry as such is extremely volatile. By that I mean there are new people coming in every single day. So you are not the best. And the sooner you accept that, I feel it's good for you in every way. Good for you professionally, good for you mentally, good for your work-life balance. Because, in India, you cannot get away from competition. We are a country of 1 billion people. Yeah. You cannot not say that I'm not part of the rat race. Because you are. You are the rat race, right? Yeah. So how much you choose that to impact you is up to you. So I know that I'm not the best. I'm trying. And I might not end up being the best because there are so many people, right? And so many talented people. So what is your benchmark? I want to do X, Y, Z things. And I don't even give like a yearly target or anything. Like, these are the things I want to do. Let it happen when it has to happen, right? If I want to act, I will obviously put it out that I want to act. But it's not that easy to get those offers, right? And also, it's not that easy to get something that might excite you. So, do you do it just for the heck of it? Or do you want to have like solid work, to be shown to people who you desire to work with? I cannot do a random role and expect to work with somebody like Anurag Basu or Anurag Kashyap or so many Zoya Akhtar. I can't be that. So if your pipeline is to associate yourself with someone like that, the kind of work you do has to be in line with what they might
Be
feel
looking for.
interesting. You can't be like, okay, I'm doing this, chalo, let's see, I've done like 10 films. But as a what? Is your work recognizable? But again, I will keep stressing on this. This comes from privilege. I have something to fall back on. It's not that, if this doesn't happen, my life is over. Which is why I always feel that you have to keep keep learning new things. Because you don't know what you are good at. I might realize that I might be a good singer at 50 and that is fine. I don't believe in running behind one thing only. Because that's frustrating.
You get burned out also, right?
You get burned out. And then, sometimes you can't keep up with the pace. Which is probably the reason I don't like Bombay. Because I can't keep up with the pace. And now, though, after like the pandemic, everything is remote. So what Bombay, what Bangalore, what Barcelona, everything is same. But I like to look at life like that. It'll happen at its own pace. You keep doing what you do. I'm not saying like, chill out. You see what you want to do and then work towards it and it'll happen.
So you make small habits in the process. Like, for example, if it is comedy, you put yourself out there.
Yeah. I work hard. I'm not against hard work. But I'm against putting that extra pressure on yourself.
Being grounded in that.
Yeah.
In terms of your expectations for yourself.
Let us be realistic also, right? I mean, you can have unrealistic dreams when you are like 12. Because that's what life is about then. Now you can't have unrealistic goals for your own happiness. I can't expect Karan Johar to launch me now, na? I mean, I've passed that age also. And you can't. So you need to know what you're aiming for. And if it is realistic, I can surely choose to be one of the writers. Because that's where my strength is. But he wants his actresses to look a certain way. I don't look like that. So why shy away from that, right? Why build castles in the air and disappoint yourself?
Yeah.
And you're not even close to the goal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So anything under my control, I'm going to do that to the best of my ability, which is why I love stand-up. Where I have absolutely no people to tell me what I'm supposed to do. Or to notice me, to launch me, to give me a chance. This is my own thing. But for others, you definitely need to go out, network, talk to people, sell yourself.
Yeah.
And it's an art. It's an art. Networking is, oh my God, I feel it's so tough. And when I see people seamlessly do it, I'm like, oh my God, like how could you? It's all yours. I'm telling you, the South Indian upbringing stops you from talking about yourself.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think there's so much modesty and humility.
Yeah. we have been outrightly cut when we talk about ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So what do we do? How do we sell ourselves? Our work has to speak for us. That's it.
So how was your first experience walking on stage as a comedian? How is it?
Um, I am very nervous. I was very nervous. I still am very nervous. But I remember this place in Koramangala called That Comedy Club. That's where most of the comedy gigs happen. And I've seen my favorite comics perform there. And when I performed there, I was like, wow,
I've
like
arrived.
this is amazing. No, I'm not arrived. I don't think I have arrived. We have a long way to go.
I think you've arrived.
No. Then what after this then?
No. I think there's a lot more. I mean, the world is your, podium.
Yes.
But I think you should also pat your back for how far you've come.
Huh? Yeah, okay. But
It's like a long way you've come.
it is.
Right?
It is. Of course it is. But I think it's still like, I give myself credit, of course. But I don't sit on it, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I still haven't reached a stage where I can derive from the work that I have done in past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still haven't reached. So I have to work. Couple of years. Let's see.
So what you're saying is like my work speaks so much.
Huh. No, I want it to speak so much. I don't know if it speaks so much. I want it to speak so much that I don't have to sell myself.
But right
By
now,
talking
about
myself.
Yeah. So for me, when I started, I think about 4 years back, I tried to do a podcast on transgenders in India.
Okay.
And while I really enjoyed the process, the research, talking to these transgenders, it took me about 2 years to do that research, connect with 4 transgenders and talk to them. The quality of the technology that I used was so bad that I just couldn't go live with it.
Yeah.
Then I went back to my old life and I continued. And at some point, that became like it's like that wound, no? It keeps itching like that. And I said, okay, let me take the plunge. But when you take the plunge, it's scary. Because you're starting, like I said, right? I'm a 4-month-old baby who's just starting to learn to stand up.
Yes.
Not even walk or run fast.
Yeah.
So I'm presuming your first few comedy stand-ups were like, how were you? What went through?
No. Every show is a new experience. Because you don't know how the audience is going to take you, na? So you can't rely on your social media stardom to work for you. That's going to help you to sell tickets. But if you are horrible, that's what they are going to remember you for.
Yeah.
You know, Will Smith has done In Pursuit of Happiness. What are we remembering him for now? He slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is how it is.
Yeah.
So you have to respect the people who invest their money to buy tickets for your show. When you feel, because I'll tell you, social media is such a nice world where you feel you are the star.
Yeah.
People make you feel like that, no?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, you go out, you're recognized, people take pictures, and then you're like, I have arrived. Then what? But you also have to realize that with the speed with which your stardom comes when you are in social media, it's the same or even probably faster that you will be irrelevant.
That is someone else.
Yeah, because that's how it is. You know, I was discussing this yesterday with my husband because I have all these issues and all of that. Now I'm coming across as full mature. No. This is a result of those talks.
Maneli reality.
No, seriously, because we go through this, yeah?
Yes.
We go through this phase where you feel like, how is this person getting more popular for the kind of rubbish that they're doing? How? But you have to realize that in India, you have audience for everything. Right? Yeah. You are the one who is thinking cerebral. Oh, what is this low bro joke you're doing? Arey, people are liking it. So what? So I can't beat myself up for not being able to do what that other person is doing. Right? So I'm looking at consistency and not lowering your standards because people expect that. What I see myself doing is the kind of comedy that I am proud of doing. That I'm proud of, that I love to watch. That makes me think, that makes me laugh, that makes me get involved. I'm not somebody who likes a husband-wife joke.
Yeah, I hate them. Especially beating the wife, like,
Yeah,
like
I mean, I'm not
putting
somebody.
the
Yeah,
wife down.
exactly. I don't like those kind of jokes. But do they work? Yes, they do. Sometimes we also laugh. Correct?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
whatever. I don't want to do that. So if that's taking is the reason why you're like, I remember reading Steve Jobs' book where he says that the people don't know what they want until you give them what you have planned for them. What was the need for an iPad?
It's not there.
Now you see kids using them. AirPods. We didn't even know we need. Now we're like, we want AirPods. Calling our cousins in the US, get me AirPods. So I'm saying you have to create market for yourself.
Very true.
And that would not happen if you follow the trend.
But there's a struggle with that journey, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are some things you went through? Like for me, it was like, a lot of, it's not like I've arrived or I've even become anything. But just this journey is like, there's a lot of self-doubt.
Oh, yeah. I think that's going to be there. It's not going to go away. But I look at it in a nicer way.
You feed.
At least I'm not one of those people who feel that, I'm wow. Correct. That would be the end of it, I feel. If you feel that this is it, then there's nothing else to learn.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to improve on. So I am the queen of self-doubt. No, seriously. I have a show tomorrow. I have done this multiple times, but I'm so nervous I can't even tell you. So I think that's a good thing for me at least. You don't wallow yourself in self-doubt. You come out of it, but you have it.
But you use it as a mechanism to get better and better? Or
I try. At least I try. I don't know if I'm getting better, but at least I try. I try to do things that surprise me, challenge me. So that's the whole goal. Also, yes, there is insecurity, there is anxiety, there is so many things. Yeah, of course, especially in this field because we are surrounded by people who are self-obsessed. Sometimes you feel that, okay, should I also be like that? Should I also keep talking about myself? Is that the only way people will recognize what I'm doing? Maybe yes. At least now, though, that is the trend.
yeah.
You have to talk about yourself.
But it's hard.
Very hard. Very hard. Oh God. I can't do it. I like to listen to people's stories. What they do. How awesome they are. Then I get bored of them.
You get bored of them.
Yeah. Because how much can you talk about yourself?
But some people don't stop at it, right?
That's what I'm saying. Aren't you yourself bored of that? Same story you're telling everybody little bit. Either udhar you're doing something telling. So that's what. So it's very difficult to find your own space because I want to be part of this space. But I don't want to be that.
You don't want to fit into it, but you want to create your space.
Yeah.
But you want to be part of this.
Part of this.
Yes.
Sometimes those conversations are very interesting also. I'm not saying that it's very... But there is a very thin line between talking about your work and this extreme narcissism.
Yes.
I told him to do this, which is why this worked. So boring it is. Like, I'm like, okay, fine, next what? You know? So I think that part I don't like. About you, you know, when I was working with this person, and the worst part is they don't take names also. Then that makes the conversation half less interesting. You're not taking names. Who is this person you're talking about? I don't know. How will I find that conversation interesting? Like, they do these conversations, it's very cryptic, okay? Like, I was working with this director, he's a 2-time national award winning director, can't take name. Arey, what is the point then? How will I know what you're talking about? Abhi now I have to use my brains. Who is this 2-time national award winning director?
Google.
I don't have time for that. Just say names, dude.
But that's another side, right? Like I was in sales. People take names. I met this person yesterday. I met this person. It's like, oh God. You're meeting all the big guys.
No. So that also is there. So when you're meeting somebody, I will not say, I met this person who was in Ocean's 12. I'll not say that. I'll say I met George Clooney. Can't take his name and all. What's the point of telling that, right? But when they're telling the negative stories,
Yeah.
like it happened and then I can't tell names. What's the point? You tell names. That's when it becomes interesting. Why don't they tell names? Because then, okay, if we tell names, our chance of working. So that is the problem, right? It's not just talent. It is not just talent. It is how close you are, how good you are with networking, how much, what kind of chaplusi you do. No, it's like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is just talent, but that's not going to take you too far.
True.
So you decide what you want to do. How much chaplu. I'm not saying don't do it all, because sometimes to get our things done, we have to like say, sir, please do this. You are amazing. I'm willing to do that. But to what extent is something I will draw a line. I can't say, sir, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum was rubbish to Karan Johar. But I like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. I'm just giving an example. So I'm saying like, but I won't be like, you know, I love what you're wearing. It's great. I can't do that. So that's where I draw the line. I will say, and I can't fake also. Like I can't say, oh, you're a writer. Tell me which book you have written. Oh, that I loved it. And you have no clue what you're talking about. So I would rather admit that I have not seen your work. I will go home and see. If I like it, I will tell you. If I don't like it, I will not tell you. I will not come and tell you that I found your work rubbish. Because again, it's my... Also, I've realized it's so much work to do one film, yeah. Like, it's so easy for us to criticize, no? Sitting here, rubbish.
True.
This was so bad. Or this was so good. But the amount of work that goes in making a film of any kind, even the worst film, has so much of hard work that has gone into it. So now I take myself out of that thing of like, you know, carelessly commenting on the film.
Different things, yeah.
It's not fair on people who have done that film.
Yeah. There's a lot of effort.
There's a lot of effort that has gone. There's so much that has gone. So
it's like a personal investment of kind, like
it's
like a baby.
And you realize that as an actor, your job is the least. What privileges, yeah? Get one vanity, sit in the AC. Somebody will do your makeup. Somebody will do your hair. Somebody will come and help you with the costume. You have to show up. Do your lines. That's it. The other people have crazy amount of work. You know, we don't realize it's so much of work. We are the ones with less work. We are the ones who are getting paid maximum. So these are the privileges that you have to realize and take that into account, that, you know, you are not doing some saving lives kind of a job. At the end of the day, you're trying to entertain people. That is what it is. That is how I look at it.
I want to steer the conversation towards, we've talked about understanding privileges. We've talked about the value system that we all come with.
Yeah.
And then how that shapes who you are. And then also the value proposition, understanding your value proposition.
Yeah.
And in this process, keeping your ego out and being grounded.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about, now with this foundation, how do you maneuver through a world which has got a whole lot of narcissism, ego, and, self-proclaimed set of people? How do you maneuver through that and keep sane?
You be a good listener. Listen. What does a narcissistic person crave the most? Validation. Give it to them. What are you losing? Right, I'm saying I'm spending 2 hours in a day. If I'm working with you, say on a film, I'm spending 2 hours interacting with you. In that 2 hours, 1 hour, half an hour, 1.5 hours, you talk about yourself. I listen. I don't give any opinion. I listen. Because I'm also one chalu only. Because I want to know these stories and how I can use them in my stand-up. I'm doing my work only there, but I listen. I don't get tired of self-obsessed people. You talk. Whatever you want, you talk. I'm not even judging you because the industry is such. It makes you that person. Unless you consciously try not to be that person. Sometimes it's too late also. To realize that, oh, am I so self-obsessed? What am I doing? You don't have that, there's no way out of it. Or maybe it's a hard, path. It's a very difficult path to come out of. So I listen. That's one thing I do. Toxicity is something that I cannot take.
What is toxicity for you?
Ruining somebody else's chance of fame by doing things that should not be done. All that, those human things, na?
Yeah.
This person, that person. That I don't like. Because I prefer upfront, if you don't like what I said or did, sort it out. I mean, it's okay. We all are humans. We'll make some mistakes. We all are manipulative. Because we want things our way, right? I mean, we all are trying to do that. So here, nobody is being like Miss Two Goody Shoes or anything of that sort. But that toxicity I do not like. You don't ruin somebody else's chance of doing things. You don't undermine somebody's efforts. Like you can't say, ye kya rubbish you have written on the face. If you don't like, there is a way to say it. I think tonality is everything. You can convey that you don't like
I think
certain
it goes back
things.
to respect.
Yeah. You don't like certain things. How do you say, if somebody talks about a thriller film with me, I'm not somebody who watches that genre. I won't be as excited as you are. But I cannot say, hey, I'm not interested. I'll listen to it. And then I will say that I cannot give much opinion about it because it's not something I watch. Maybe you should talk to this person. I think we have to collaborate. We have to be together. Because a person can reach a certain goal alone by himself to a certain point. After that, what? So, my goal is to have a team, that wants to do certain things. That does not take any kind of feedback personally. That knows how to respect each other, no matter what they do. I think that's the basic of any field, I feel. It's not just
Absolutely.
the field of, whatever, movies and content and digital space. So that I cannot take. And also I've realized that it's one-to-one relationship. Somebody will come and tell you that, oh, Sonu is like rubbish. But hopefully you have a good experience with me and you say, okay, maybe.
It's your perspective.
It's your perspective. Maybe somebody else. But then when 3-4 people have same opinion about, then there is a problem. Right? I mean, so I think as creators, as actors, we have to be very secure of our talent, our capabilities. What are we bringing on table? Once you're secure of that, you will stop doing that, cutting somebody else's chance of doing this. That is something that is difficult. But as I told you, I listen to everything with no judgments.
What's the world that you sort of function in like, Sonu?
As in,
Like, currently you're into stand-up, you're into acting,
Yeah.
you're into, improvs.
Yeah.
You were at RJ.
Yeah.
And now you're getting more and more deeper into acting as well. What is your...
deeper, I don't know. I'm just shooting one film. Yeah, God knows after this I'll get one offer also or not. But I'm enjoying it. That
Yeah.
much I can say.
Yeah.
I like it.
The journey, right? It's
Yeah.
the journey.
Yeah, I mean, also being an actor was never a part of the plan. It was never. It just happened. And yeah.
So you take every opportunity that comes, you take the plunge, or do you sort of step back and say, not for me? How does that work?
I don't outrightly reject anything. Because I tell you, everything is content. If you're part of a film that does not do well or is not liked by most of the people, you have a stand-up set right there. I can't make fun of somebody else's film. I can make fun of the film that I have acted in. Aram se, no problem. So I look at everything as content. Outrightly reject, no, never. But it should also be something that adds value.
To you.
So for me, it has to add value either to my skill or to my bank account or the experience. Now, I'll tell you separately. Now, acting, for example, it's a new skill and it's a great production house to work with. Check. Do it. It's a show that's going to pay me a good amount of money. Check. It's something that, these are the people I have always wanted to work with. Check. Anything that does not fall in these 3 categories, I will pass.
Okay.
Yeah. I will pass. Now again, there's another thing. I have a daughter. So that has to fall into this as well. Is my time... So which is why these 3 things are important to me. Is my time away from her worth it? How is it going to be worth if you're doing something that you think is very, very exciting or something that's paying you money or something that you've always aspired to do, like, people you want to work with. Now, if it fits these 3, if it fits all the 3, then to like it's great. But even if it's a check on one of these, I will say yes. Okay. I will say yes. Like I'm doing this film and we are shooting in Mysore. I have to be away from my daughter. It breaks my heart every time I leave home.
How many days?
So the first schedule was for 4 days. Then the second was for 2. Now it's a longer one. It's in May. I'll be out for 8 days. That it's a long time. She's like 1 year, 9 months old. So I decide, and of course I've got like great support from my parents and my husband. So they're like, yeah, you go. We'll do this. So that is how I decide at the moment. Then when she grows up again, it will change. But this is how I'm functioning at the moment.
In this whole process, because you're going to explore either new skills, you're getting into new spaces.
Yeah.
Now, one kind of people you will meet is like it's visibly out there.
Huh.
Oh, this is not going to work for me.
Yeah.
Right? But there's also the passive aggressive kinds. The passive sorts who only when you start working you figure out, oh, hinga. How do you go about?
So, this is something that I've learned from my husband, and I don't give him enough credit. I always disagree on this with him all the time.
What's his name?
Ajay.
Ajay.
Yes. He tells me, you treat the people the way you want to treat them. How they treat you is not under your control. It's extremely philosophical, but I've seen him do that. And I think it's a good way to live. So whatever you're talking about, I'm telling you, I've been in this industry for about 10 years. Industry andre like radio, television, not television, sorry, radio, content creation, all of that. I have met all these kinds of people. And I've been meeting them since I was just out of college. So back in the day, this used to bother me a lot. You know, where your moral compass is pretty high. You are that idealist who has just passed out of college. You want people to be fair. You want people to, do things right way, but that does not happen.
It's black or white.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I met all these kinds of people. I still do. But they don't affect me anymore. That's because I know this is work. And most of the time, some people are mavericks. So you have to cut some slack. You should know where they are coming from. I know it's a lot of work for you. But if you want to keep your mind at peace, then that much work you will have to do.
How do you go about doing that?
I told you I listen. I listen to a lot of things. And fortunately, I'm in a position where kind of anybody who is working with me knows what I'm bringing on the table. So I see those people behaving that way with someone else, not me. I was that someone else when I started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that person who is treating this other person like shit, he or she is not going to change. They are going to be like this. Especially when things have worked out for them because in spite of being so shitty. You know what I mean? Yeah. So why should I change when everything is working for me? I've been cutting so many people's chances. I've been doing this, I've been doing that, but that's fine because it's working for me. Right? So that person is not going to change. But if you want to survive, then you will have to change your perspective.
How do you go? I mean, it's very easy.
No, it's not easy.
No, I'm saying it's very easy to sort of say this. But actual execution...
No, but I'm telling you, Saujanya, I have been in that position. Where I have literally cried every single day of my life because this person was treating me like shit. I've called my mom like, I can't do this. And my mom also, poor thing, she's like, yeah, then leave. Then that killer's instinct in you is like, no way I'm going to leave this. I'm going to show this person what I'm capable of. Because at that age, that's what drives you. You want to show people what you're capable of. Okay. Especially the ones who have treated you like shit. But I'm telling you, from my personal experience, in fact, people who are listening to this know whom I'm talking about also. Because I'm very vocal about, I don't hide names. Here I will. Sorry, Saujanya.
I was like on the tip of the seat.
I can't do that, no. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Right? But trust me, I want to. But we have to respect the
sanctity of it.
Yeah. But I have grown From being that person who was like treated like shit to a person who is
But
treated.
what is treated like shit? What are...
You
because the
kill the
boundaries...
confidence of the person who is starting out. You don't do that. You break them. You don't do that. Right? You make that person question about his or her talent every single day. You make them believe what you think about that person. Because you are at a pedestal. Right?
You summed
That-
up half the technology world's leadership itself
Yeah.
out there, right?
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. You know, it is so wrong to crush somebody's confidence. Because life is going to teach that person anyway. If that person is not good enough, he or she will have to learn it the hard way. Why do you have to be that bitter person in that person's life? You know, that's not nice. That's not what good people do. Try and be a good mentor, but if it's not up your alley, don't discourage them. Because mentorship is a huge, huge responsibility. I think it'll be so nice for everybody to have that kindergarten teacher attitude towards life.
Tell me more. I'm very interested.
No, seriously. Like, okay, for example, when the kids come to kindergarten, every child is coming with different abilities, right? One child is finding so hard to fit in only. But he or she has to be there. Because that's the
Journey.
One child is all out there. So the teacher is not going to say like, you know, you are not good, you are good. Which is why I'm saying like your preschool teachers, they're so kind. They're so nice. They're so happy for you when you do these small achievements. So when a person, you get a chance to teach somebody, be that magnanimous person, teach that person. You can't be like, you know, what if this person learns everything from me and gets better than me? That's eventually going to happen, whether you teach or not. You know, life. So if the person has the heart and head in the right place, they will reach where they're supposed to reach. You may be a speed breaker by being that person who's pulling this person down. That will affect the speed, but not the
engine.
ultimatum of reaching that destination. It's not going to change. I wanted to be a performer. Yes, it slowed down a bit. Maybe I could have started comedy like 6-7 years ago as opposed to 4 years. If I was confident about myself, you know? And so that, I think that's lacking, that nice mentorship. You know? I keep saying this. I don't know, have you watched Suits? I mean, Harvey is so self-obsessed. But at the same time, he doesn't shy away from teaching Mike what he knows.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he is insecure and all of that. But how is his equation with Mike?
One of a teacher.
Yeah. And a cool teacher.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, everything will be fine. You have your, you know, snarky remarks. All of that, that's fun. But you're not crushing that person's confidence. Because it takes a while to bring that back.
Yeah, it does. It does.
If you're lucky, it'll come back. If not, it won't. And that's not a nice thing for anybody. For anybody. Irrespective of talent. Huh?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So when you went through that,
Yeah.
how did you, because your space, and I would think in most spaces, your self-esteem, your self-confidence is what sort of helps you take the plunge, make small wins, and move forward. But when you face something like this,
Yeah.
how does one sort of shake things out and say, okay, let me give it another shot?
I told you, right? I had that habit of, I will put you to your place. Sooner or later. Because I'm not the one who will keep quiet. You can't keep treating me like rubbish, or like I don't exist, or like my opinions don't matter. I don't do that in my personal life. I will not do that in my professional life. So, once you have that confidence that this person is not going to add any value to your career, when you know that, no matter how nice or not nice I am to this person, I can still reach where I want to reach. And that's the case most of the times. Because there is that amount of work waiting for you, irrespective of the field that you're working in. Because we work in a certain field, we feel this is the world. These are the people. No, it's not. So after that, I did not let anybody treat me like that. Because I was very confident of who I am. I also tried and showed this person the place, but then I told you, right, those people don't change.
You move on.
You move on. You move on. You promise yourself that you will not become that person.
They become a lesson. A teacher.
Yes. So now I'm like, if I get a chance to mentor somebody, I want to do it in the best possible way. I want the people whom I mentor to be so successful and so happy and so content with their life that's the kind of relationship I want to have. That's the kind of relationships I value. Whether it is friends or whatever, there has to be mutual respect and love.
I'm going to ask you little more deeper into this one, Sonu, because it's very important. And this doesn't happen just in the content space. This happens everywhere. This happens in tech spaces. This happens in hospitality business. It happens everywhere. And it is very subtle when it starts happening. It probably doesn't even start with you being the receiver of it. You probably watch someone else go through it, and you stay quiet. And then when it comes and hits you is when you realize, oh shit, I'd seen this. So this scenario you talked about, Sonu, it happens not just in the content space or the creative space.
Yeah.
It probably happens more,
I'm sure,
intensity-wise in the creative space because, we're much more to the roots over there with our emotions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we're very vulnerable. I mean, I'm saying we right now because I'm 4 months old in this.
Yeah.
space.
Of course.
But it also happens in the other space, like the industry I come from, or even in hospitality and many other spaces.
Yeah.
Now, what I have observed is it's very hard to spot these people who can be like, they can drain you out. And you'll never know when it'll come and hit you. You probably see it happening to someone else and you'll be like, yeah, that guy's going through it. But it's only when it hits you that you realize, oh, I saw this before as well.
Yeah.
But even then, when it hits you, you're like, it's you. You were the mistake. You were wrong here. You were doing it. Of course, there's a side of what you could have done better.
Yeah.
But there's also, to your point, how have you held my hand in that process as a leader to lift me and boost my confidence and self-esteem?
Yeah.
For someone who's very oblivious to this happening, how do you spot these traits? Like, I insist that when I mentor, I insist that as you're interviewing, as someone's interviewing you for a job, do you spend some time to interview them? So how do you recognize these patterns? Because to remain sane, you need to...
I know what you're talking about. But in the industry that I come from, it's out there.
It's on your face.
There is no subtlety.
Okay.
You can sense the insecurity.
Describe some of these aspects. Because this, while in the industry it's on your face, in the outside, other worlds, it's probably not on your face, but you can sort of watch out for these traits.
I think a good strategy here would be something my mother has told me. You never give out too much about yourself. She told me when I met my husband, by the way, this. Don't give out too much, just listen. Listen. I think it works. You don't give too much about yourself. And I'm not saying that you don't carry forward the conversation, but I'm saying if the conversation is happening between two people, where one person is the person that we are talking about, like somebody who might drain you out. You might not know it in the beginning, and irrespective of whom you're talking to, because you don't know what this other person might do to you, right? You don't give out too much.
But you absorb.
You absorb. And absorbing in general is a good thing. Because if the other person is anyway talking a lot, you don't need to carry the conversation forward, right? You just have to be a good listener. You listen. Something excites you, or something touches that point that makes you talk, you talk. And by giving away too much, I mean you don't give away your personality traits. Or you say like, oh, I love iced coffee as compared to latte. That's fine. You can't be like, I'm a very you can't give out your personality trait by talking.
Your strengths, your insecurities.
You keep it to yourself. And also, I think there is a very clear line that one needs to draw between your personal and professional life. In personal life, I go all heart. I tell everything. I tell everything to my mom, my husband, my father, my best friends. Everything. Like I step out of this room, I'm going to tell I finished the interview, this is what I know. So that's how vocal I am in my personal life. When in professional life, I strictly follow business. I don't go looking out for friendships in professional life. If it happens, great. I'm not saying no to it at all. But I'm not like, hey, we're buddies or whatever. But I will treat you with respect. I will make jokes. I will have fun. I'll laugh. I'll have lunch. All of that. But there's a line I draw.
And it's very important.
And that's how I protect myself from getting drained out.
And this is after you experienced the rock bottom.
Yeah. I had a very clear mandate that I'll not have best friends in workplace. Doesn't work. For me at least. I need to have a clear demarcation between my personal and professional life. So, so there is very less bitching that I'm a part of. There is very less of politics that I'm part of. Because I do my work and I scoot. And it takes me years to tell somebody from work, say, let's catch up. It's been a while. Sometimes I don't say that also. Because I just want to see you at work. Because I have no other choice.
But what you're saying is, it's not about, like in poker, there is this rule.
Yeah.
That when you're dealt with bad cards, you fold.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is, when you're dealt with bad cards, observe.
Yeah.
Don't reveal much about yourself.
Yeah.
Draw the boundaries very clearly.
Yeah.
And learn to survive and maneuver through that.
Yes.
Because you bring your value proposition.
Absolutely. And you cannot say I cannot be part of this industry because
It's
you
everywhere.
are part of it.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And also, you are not the only one who is going through this. There are a lot of people who have gone through this. And also, I feel a lot of this has to do with the kind of support I get at home. I have a very, very strong support at home, which does not make me needy to have more relationships. I'm quite content. I'm happy. So I don't, but I am up for a story anytime. Anytime. You know, I will listen to you without judgments. And I think that's step one to any relationship. So if it grows, it grows. You can't plan that I'm going to be best friends with this person. You're not in grade 2.
Wait, your daughter's going to come.
She's like, this is my best friend. No, but I feel like with every generation, those qualities.
Evolving.
She talks. She doesn't tell me what she does in school. She's quiet. So she's already strategic, I feel. So I have this. It's out in the open. This is my strategy. This is how I keep myself sane.
And this has worked for you for how many years now?
2018. That's when I started drawing that line between personal and professional.
It's a very conscious and hard work there to do that, right? Because by nature, you're not that
No,
way.
but also, Sarjani, I feel beyond a certain age now, you stop bonding with people. That's how it is. You're not looking out for new relationships. You're looking for healthy collaborations. For sure. You are not looking for friendship.
Draw the line. Know the difference.
But then if that healthy collaboration leads to something, then we will see.
Yeah.
But I am not looking for that. I have enough people in my life and I sometimes feel I don't get time for them only. Abhi, how I will add more people and then be absolutely non-competent to maintaining relationships is so much of hard work.
Yeah, it is.
And most of the time it's one person who's doing it. So if I'm not doing it, the other person better do it. So I draw that line. It keeps things much simpler than otherwise.
Another part to it is also then how your work speaks for yourself in this environment. Let me explain. When you're drawing these boundaries, it's not like me and my husband, for example. It's like wherever he goes, wherever I go, I talk about him. Because it's like as though we are twins born out of, we think the same way and all that stuff. But then this won't be the case in your office space.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you need to be, your work and you need to be speaking for yourself.
Yes.
That's another part of, because it's not like I just draw this boundary and I just do my work and go.
Yeah.
You can still fall into the pit hole.
Yeah.
So you need to also balance it out by showcasing your work. Let your work speak for itself. Your own personal brand. Right?
Yes. 100%.
How was that something you learned gradually, or that was something you already had?
No, I don't think I had it. You learn these things, I think. I think corporate world teaches you a lot of things. It teaches. So my whole goal after a certain point was to protect myself and not let these external stupid things affect my journey towards my goal. Somebody says something, you are upset for a week. That's a week lost in doing something that you are actually good at. Right? So I was not like this. I don't want the whole world to love me. It bothers me when somebody's upset with me. somebody is not talking. It bothers me. I want everybody to say, Sonu is lovely, Sonu is lovely. I want everybody to say that.
Yeah.
And I am lovely. No humility, nothing. Just like that.
Just transforming from South Indian to Indian now.
No. So no. I generally want to create that vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't we all?
Yeah.
All of us.
All of us, you know. So I always want like people to say nice things about me and all of that. And I try to be that person also. It's not that I'm creating a perception. I mean, if you meet me outside of this room, I probably would be similar. But you will be a better person to say that. But I don't try to have a facade. I don't have a facade. And that is something that I've learned from my mother. Whoever you are, however you are, just be that. You don't have to mold yourself for somebody to like you. But try and be happy, you know?
Yeah.
Nice. And these are things that we've learned when we were in school, right? Be nice to people.
Yeah.
So if everybody was nice to everybody, all these things don't matter.
Yeah.
We don't even have to discuss all these things.
Yeah. We've had bullies in school.
Yeah.
They've become bigger bullies as
Yes.
they grow.
Or they have become, they have gone the other side. I don't think I was a bully in school though. But I've been alpha.
Yeah? Really?
My daughter is alpha. I am alpha. We want to make our presence felt where we go. But you realize there are bigger alphas when you go out. So you're like, can I match that? Maybe no. It's okay. I'll be nice.
You found a grounding in this process. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. I'm totally okay not being recognized. I'm totally okay if somebody says, I have seen you somewhere, and I'll actually help them to figure out where they might have seen me. I don't have a problem with that.
Has that happened to you?
Yeah. You're that girl, no? You're that girl, no? I'll be like, I'll wait. I'll really wait. You tell me which girl I am. Like, you're that girl, I've seen your videos. I'm like, yes, I am that person. Sorry, I forgot your name. No problem, my name is Sonu. Sonu. What are you losing?
One selfie.
No, that also might not happen. Because you're that girl. I don't care. It's okay. Which is what you have to work for. If that's the goal.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that girl.
Yeah.
They should come and tell you, hey Sonu, we love you. That's the next goal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm okay. You not recognizing me.
This has been a wonderful life skill conversation for me, Sonu. I think when we pivoted, we said we'll talk about how to keep sanity through your career journey, knowing that the world is this way.
Yes.
And I think it's been a beautiful conversation.
Thank you.
So much I've learned, and I'm sure the audience would also learn a lot more in this conversation. Relatable as well.
Yeah,
So
I hope
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. And it's actually a very nice thing that you are doing here, because, you know, these are the things that we are not going to learn anywhere else.
Yes.
It's only through people's conversations that we will learn.
Yes.
And relate to it and figure out.
Yes.
I mean, life is about all figuring out, right? Yes. I mean, that's what it is. So if not from my own experience, I learned from your experience. And I think that's the best part of it.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
And not asking me a question, how does it feel to be a female doing comedy? So tired of that question.
But I want to ask you one thing. One comedy, madama.
Oh no, I can't do. See, this is like so. Improv. Oh God, improv. We've been through this. I'm not that kind of person, Saujanya.
Sure.
No, I need a stage. I need that pomp, that show where people are like dying to like No, yeah.
Come,
I'm
Vishnu.
kidding. Yeah.
I'm
No.
also not that.
I'm just. I told you, right? I mean, with the conversation, you would know. I'm okay with being that girl. I'm okay with being that girl. I'm not a. I'll show you what I've got kind of a girl.
No.
Not possible. Not possible.
One more question.
Yeah.
Last one. What does attitude makeover mean to you?
It is a work in progress. Every single day. You either learn from a film, a song, a journey, a person, animal. It's a work in progress. You just have to make sure to do things that work for you, not at the cost of other people.
Other people. It's
If
your
you-
journey.
Yeah, and if you cannot help, that's also fine. But don't go the other way. Because I told you, we all are manipulative people. That's why we are humans, right? That's why we are almost going to end the world. Because that's what we are capable of. So don't do that, because you are capable of much better things as well. So just focus on yourself. Give some time to others as well. And I think that golden advice that my husband Ajay has given me, I think it's going to stay with me forever. You treat the people the way you want. How they treat you is not your problem.
Sonu, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is such a pleasure to have you here.
Same
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you. It was great talking to you.
Same here.